Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking on my video today. So I want to focus on the things that you do when you start a new role. It's just to get you ahead of the game as a project manager. Tip number one, spend time getting to know your company's products, services, and processes. Now, as a new starter or someone who is, learning the ropes, it's really important to take your time when you're going through these documents and really grasp and digest them. When I say take your time, I mean don't just rush through it and then leave it to one side. Take your time and digest it. Like, you're a new starter, you'll have a few days to go through this document. And if you don't, for example, if you're a freelancer like myself, you don't have a few days. You might have to look at it in your spare time. So if you really want to get a step ahead, digest these starter packs, onboard documents that you're given, and really look at it, like really take time to own it and know it, like use it as your kind of, see it as your Bible, like go through it daily, have it open on a tab that you always refer back to as and when you're working on a project, because sometimes you can get so lost in the day-to-day of what you're doing as a project manager because you're busy managing multiple projects that you forget these documents, and you could end up asking questions that are already on this document. So you want to just make sure that you're being forward thinking, that you're being proactive, and that you're utilizing this starter pack. If your company doesn't have a starter pack or a kind of onboarding process or documentation, because some companies don't, and if you're in a company that doesn't, write down everything. So write down the processes of the systems that you're using. Write down, if you're working on a new project and you haven't been through that project cycle before, write down that project cycle. Your line manager will love you for it because you've essentially done them a favor. You're really showing how proactive you are, how efficient you are, and these are the kind of traits that people look for. Tip number two, be meticulous about your project. So what do I mean by this? You as the project manager need to be organized. You need to be organized and have really excellent attention to detail. So you might need to create a status sheet once you've received your brief, because a status sheet will help you break down that brief into finer details. And that will be where you will have all of the information that you need for each of the deliverables. You will be so prepared if your line manager asks you a question, if somebody on the project, or head of a department, if they ask you a question because you've had the time to digest a brief, break it down, put it into a status sheet, and you'll always be on track and know where you stand and where the other teams stand with the project. You will speak with confidence and assurance and conviction as a project manager, and you will leave no room for doubts and questions in the mind of others. Tip number three is to prepare for your meetings. Now, some people just go into meetings and, kind of blag their way through it. It's not an issue for them. That's just how they run meetings. Not you. You are the project manager that is able to confidently lead the meeting from start to end. You have a clear outcome for that meeting. You have a clear agenda. If you have to create some kind of a deck or a PowerPoint slide, you have done this beforehand. You have your questions that you need for your team or whoever you are having a meeting with prepared beforehand, and you go into that meeting with confidence and you lead from the front. Status sheets help to provide some kind of an outline of the next steps, and also you just taking that time to just go over the outcome that you want for the meeting. And also, if people do ask you questions that you're not clear on and that you may have to go back to the client, that's absolutely fine. Do not feel embarrassed or uncomfortable about the fact that you have to ask questions to somebody else to clarify that information, because you may not know everything and you really may need to go back to the client and ask questions because the client is the one that's going to give you the answer. As a project manager, you can't do everything yourself. Like, as much as you're leading, a lot of the information that you need is owned by other people. For example, you may be asked a technical question from a client and you need to speak to someone from the dev team who is going to be able to answer that question. It's not an issue. Clients are absolutely fine with it as long as you're open, honest, and communicate efficiently. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, guys. I really hope that it added value to you. Please do like, please do subscribe to my channel. And please, if you have any questions, drop it into the comments. I will be more than happy to help and give you some, some further advice or break down anything into any more finer detail. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you guys and sharing my new video with you soon. Thank you so much. Bye.